Hi guys, it's Patricia and today is our Tester Tuesday weekly series of review videos. I review 2 scents with you guys each week and you guys pick the 2 scents by collectively voting at the end of the video. So this week was very interesting that just happened. It was clear that there were 2 scents pulling ahead. And guess what? They tied for first. I think that's the second time we've had a tie, and I don't bother breaking the tie because I know those are the 2 scents we're going to review. But tied for first, they each had 29% of the vote. The first one we're going to discuss is almost like a orange brown wax, and that is Everything Nice. And the second one is almost like a taupe gray colored wax, and I believe there might have been a blue tinge in the wax as well. It's almost like the wax was discoloring, and that is Mountain Sky. So the order, in case you're interested, it went Everything Nice and Mountain Sky tied. Then we have Mocha Doodle, Lemon Verbena, Bergamot and Solar Driftwood, and at the bottom we had Orange Glass. So let's talk about our first place scent this week. It is Everything Nice. This is about a medium plus, maybe medium to strong on cold sniff. It's a retired scent. It was last available the fall and winter catalog of 2017. And I would describe it as a bakery scent if I had to put it somewhere. Now I joined February 1st, 2018, so I had Everything Nice I think for 1 month and then it was no longer available. So the scent description for this is deep caramel and swirls of butter with roasted pumpkin and glazed pecans. So the scent notes, we have our caramel, butter, roasted pumpkin, and glazed pecans. So caramel, I would say, imparts a richness to this, but it reminds me of like a deep dark caramel rather than a light golden. Light golden caramels are very sweet, and the longer you caramelize that sugar, you get more rich tones and less sweet tones. And sometimes if you take it too far, it's burnt, and I've done that before. So anyway, butter, it reminds me of brown butter. Again, you can melt butter. If you keep melting it, the milk solids will turn dark brown, and it imparts a really nutty, fragrant, beautiful tasting vanilla. You can put it in sauces, you can put it in baked goods, and it imparts a lot of richness, so that's what I get. Roasted pumpkin, I would say definitely get pumpkin that's cooked versus fresh in here. Yeah, definitely cooked. And I don't know about roasted. Roasted imparts a little bit of natural sugar, and sometimes it dries out the vegetable. So that could be something here. And glazed pecans or pecans, a nuttiness. Glazed implies a sugary coating. I don't know. There's not a lot of sweetness in this. You can definitely smell nuts. It almost smells a tiny bit like peanuts, but yeah, I would say more roasted, dry roasted nuts. Basically, this scent reminds me of a bakery scent, something like a pumpkin bread or a zucchini bread that has like a natural spice built in, but it doesn't jump out at you. It fits in there perfectly. And I wouldn't say it's overly sweet, and it does change as you warm it. Every once in a while, when I warm this, I could pick up a hint of chocolate. I know, but I could. So once I put this in the warmer, I had the equivalent of 4 cubes. So I put 3 cubes in my youngest or my middle child's room, which I normally put between 2 warmers, and I put 1 in my mudroom laundry room. This was a very long-lasting scent and a very strong scent. In my middle child's bedroom, it was strength and throw 9 out of 10. I left it in 4 days, 60 hours. So that 9 out of 10 was on day 1, and that was its maximum. And then it dipped down, I would say like maybe 6 or 5 out of 10, but it stayed for quite a while. It's a scent that lingers for sure. You can smell it after you turn it off. And the same thing kind of happened in my mudroom laundry room. Strength and throw there for 1 cube was 8.5 out of 10 in a mini warmer, and I left it in 4 days, 42 hours. One thing I would say about this scent is as you warm it, it reminds me just like a normal baked good. On day 1, the baked good is the best. It's fresh, everything about it is great, and then day 2, 3, whatever, it starts to be a little more stale and dry. And that's kind of what happened here. It felt almost like a stale kind of bakery tone after day 1. And there's not a lot of sweetness, so it's like a dryness with it as well. So it did kind of remind me on day 1 of something like a salted caramel cupcake or maybe Central Park pralines, but not a jump out of cinnamon. But if you like those kind of scents and you want to vote back something, consider voting this back. It was pretty good. Scent appeal for me was probably 7 out of 10 on cold and on day 1, and then dropped down to maybe 4 or 5 out of 10 after it went to that stale version. So that is everything nice. Let's talk about scent number 2, and this is Mountain Sky. I had 4 mini testers. On cold, I would say this is a medium scent, as maybe a little stronger. Medium to medium plus. And this is a retired scent as well. It was first released in spring and summer 2016, and I forgot to check to see when it stopped coming back. But if I had to put this in a category, I would put it in a fresh category or a fresh/masculine category. The scent description for Mountain Sky is: take a meadow stroll amidst fresh air with a dash of citrus, while whitewoods and amber lend warm, exquisite undertones. So the scent notes for this, we have our fresh air, I would say definitely. We have citrus, and I would say I pick up like a bergamot, which implies like a masculine characteristic. I immediately picked up on that. Then we have whitewoods and amber. And whitewoods is kind of one of those scents that I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but I looked it up and I didn't even get a really good answer when I looked it up. One place described it as a wintry fragrance, which is strong yet soft and subtle, which is kind of, doesn't really make a lot of sense. Another area said that it was like the addition of the white before the woods implies a mild form, and that the wood smelling doesn't actually smell like an actual wood species. So again, not really sure, but I think it's used a lot in perfumes or colognes. I think it's like a unisex type scent, a soft, mild, unisex type cologne perfume fragrance. That's what I'm going with. I'm hoping I'm right. And amber, we just recently talked about that. There's different forms. And I'd say if the amber in here, I would say it's more of a white amber to me, not a dark amber. Just smelling it on cold, I would say it's like a nice, crisp, masculine, fresh air cologne scent, but more like a body wash vibe or a deodorant. Those bright, fresh deodorant type, crisp ones. And tiny, maybe ever so slight, like a bergamot with a little hint of like a spicy bergamot, but in a good way. I would say scent appeal is probably like a 7.5 on this one for me, which is odd because I don't typically love masculine scents. They're okay, but this kind I can get down with. How did this one do? I put it in my room here, which I usually use 2 cubes, so I'm using 1 1/3 cubes, so it's not definitely going to last as long as most scents that I test in here. I had it strength and throw at 7.5, maybe 8. That was maximum. I left it in 2 days, 16 hours. Now, after day 1, it was really light, so just to keep that in mind. But before a visual, the best way to think of this scent is when I was a kid, my stepfather was really into convertibles. Sometimes we would go for drives, and we lived on a long, windy road. And if you went past our road, it didn't really become rural, but it was very hilly, and it felt very enclosed like a mountain. And it reminds me of that because like the fresh air with the convertible down, and I could smell my stepdad next to me. He had that bright cologne vibe, and then the coolness of the air. Anyway, that's kind of what it reminds me of. Mountain Sky. Pretty good. I don't know if it's an outstanding scent, but it wasn't bad. So let's get drawing for next week. I'm going to draw 6 scents from the box. You guys are going to vote for 2 different scents by Wednesday morning down in the comments section below. If you cannot vote on YouTube videos, find my Instagram post and put your 2 votes there. Check the pinned comment to see if voting is closed. Anyway, let's find out. Scent number 1, Ocean. Scent number 2, Lemon Thyme Berry. Scent number 3, Iced Pine. Scent number 4, Sweet Cucumber. Scent number 5, Tingelo. And scent number 6, we have Heartbreaker. So let's review the options for voting this week. We have Ocean, which is current, but it's going to retire at the end of this month. We have Lemon Thyme Berry, that's a retired spring and summer scent from last year. Iced Pine, set to be re-released in September for the fall and winter catalog. Sweet Cucumber, retired last spring and summer. Tingelo has been retired for a while. And Heartbreaker. Was it Mariah Carey that sings Heartbreaker? Anyway, that is definitely retired. So thanks for spending the last few minutes with me. Don't forget to vote, and I will see you guys in the next video.